Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. It's Friday, March 4th, 2022. And we begin with the far side of the moon getting walloped by a 3-ton piece of space junk. Collision time was anticipated at 7:26 this morning East Coast time. Many scientists believe, but can't prove, that the haphazardly tumbling debris came from a Chinese rocket launched in 2014. Regardless of how it got up there, it came down at 5,800 miles per hour and was expected to leave a significant crater in its wake. Exactly how big of a hole will remain a mystery, at least for now, because none of the lunar spacecrafts currently in orbit were in position to record the moment of impact. Researchers say it could take weeks or even months to confirm the collision and capture the extent of the damage. There isn't any real rush, though. The absence of weather on the moon means erosion is not an issue, so any crater caused by the junk should be there forever. The Olympics are over, but the Paralympics for athletes with physical challenges kicks off today in Beijing with the opening ceremony promoting a message of peace. There was some debate about how to handle athletes from Russia and its ally Belarus in light of last week's invasion of Ukraine. Yesterday, the Games leaders ultimately decided these athletes will be banned from the competition. The head of the International Paralympic Committee said that while the organization believes sports and politics should not mix, it has come under pressure from an overwhelming number of participants. Some of the sports include alpine and cross-country skiing, ice hockey, snowboarding, and wheelchair curling. The Paralympic Games are scheduled to finish a week from Sunday. A church in England had a problem. The clock in its 14th century tower had been broken for over a decade, stuck at 2 minutes past 12. The minister decided it was high time to get it repaired and brought in an expert, one of the engineers who'd worked on the famous Big Ben clock in London. But the minister got some serious sticker shock when the estimate for repair came in around £40,000, or well over $50,000 US. So a couple locals, a 47-year-old cheesemaker and a 15-year-old student, decided they'd give it a try. They removed a few dead pigeons that were gumming up the bearings and gave it some grease and WD-40, and that's all it took to get the clock working again. They did use their cell phones to make sure the correct time was set on each of the hands, which work independently on their own mechanisms. In other KidNuz notes, the United Nations has just approved a landmark agreement to create the world's first ever global plastic pollution treaty. It's described as the most significant environmental deal since the Paris Climate Accord of 2015. Talks took place over the last week in Nairobi, Kenya, and while there's still a lot of details to iron out before the treaty is finalized in 2 years, organizers say this is a critical first step to deal with an environmental crisis that stretches from the bottom of the ocean to the top of the highest mountains. Amazon is shutting the door on all its physical bookstores. The e-commerce giant confirmed this week it's closing 68 retail locations as part of a shift in its brick-and-mortar strategy. Instead, Amazon says it will focus more on its grocery stores, Amazon Fresh and Whole Foods, as well as a recently launched apparel store. Amazon first opened a physical bookstore in Seattle in 2015. This could be the coolest cafe in the world, literally. A hotel in the Himalayan mountains of India has created snow glue, what it says is the planet's largest igloo cafe, which can seat up to 40 people. Sheepskins cover the icy benches to make them more comfortable, and they serve coffee, hot chocolate, and snacks. But this igloo cafe won't be around for long. It's expected to melt by the middle of this month. That's it for KidNuz. Now the KidNuz quiz. Scientists believe the 3-ton piece of space junk slammed into the moon at what speed? 5,800 miles per hour. The Paralympics are for what kind of athletes? Athletes with physical disabilities. When did Amazon open its first brick-and-mortar bookstore? In 2015. When is the snow glue cafe in the Himalayas expected to melt? by the middle of this month. In our KidNuz Kicker, March is Women's History Month, honoring the often overlooked contributions of women in history, society, and culture. This year's theme is Women Providing Healing, Promoting Hope. And it salutes both the brave frontline workers of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the countless women who've provided healing and hope throughout history. Among them, Elizabeth Blackwell, who became the first woman to earn a medical degree in the U.S. in 1849. She was accepted at only one school, Geneva Medical College, as a joke, but ended up graduating at the top of her class. She later co-founded the first all-female 4-year medical college in New York. Before we go, a big KidNuz shout-out to our terrific teachers and their students. Miss Gavin at Eastmont Elementary in Dayton, Ohio. Mr. Goldwyn and his awesome class at Chicago City Day School in Chicago, Illinois. Kim, also known as Mom, at St. Therese Homeschool Academy in Bettendorf, Iowa. Mrs. Morris at La Entrada Middle School in Menlo Park, California. And Mrs. Collins and her Chango Cheetahs at Chango Elementary in Ballston Lake, New York. Thanks for listening. Teachers, look out for our weekly word search in your email and our Week in Review quiz now up on our website at www.kidnuz.org. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here for more KidNuz Monday morning.